Hey guys, it's Courtney from Willow's Bloom, where we intentionally design our life and business with the cosmos. I'm doing this video specifically because I've seen that a lot of people are starting to work from home right now due to the virus. And I've started noticing that a lot of us are slipping into unhealthy habits and routines that really are not supportive of an at-home work environment. And I have actually been working from home for, oh my gosh, I can't even remember so many years, at least 5 years. And I'm very aware of what it takes to work from home in a healthy way, because I started off in an unhealthy way and then I learned how not to do it, basically. So I'm a certified hermit Monday to Friday. I pretty much only leave the house to go work out or maybe to hang out with a friend, but for the most part, I'm just in my house all day long. And so what the problem is there is that every hour and everything starts to blend together and seem exactly the same unless you set up routines and structure and create more of a schedule for your day. So that's what I want to walk you guys through, and to also give you some encouragement that this is something that took me months to really learn and get right. So if you guys don't have it down every single day, who cares? But I just want to offer you my routine and my advice to make it a little bit easier on the people who are just starting out doing this. So the number one thing is to really have a routine. So getting up in the morning early, I think, is really important, because if you start going to bed later and later, honestly, you're gonna get depressed. I think it's not healthy for your brain to be staying up late all the time and then to be missing so many hours of sunlight. So what I do is I wake up, pretty early, around like 7 at least, maybe earlier, sometimes a little bit later. And then I will go and then do my morning routine. So maybe I'll do some meditation and journal about my goals. And I just get myself amped up for the day and excited for everything that I'm about to tackle. And a lot of this is mindset, because the way that we start our morning can really trickle down to the rest of the day and how positive we feel many hours from then. So just kind of get yourself amped up and think about all the things that make you excited to do, and then place those in your morning routine. Your morning routine can be completely different than mine, but really the goal is to do something that just lights you up. So for me, that's really focusing on my future vision. So before I even get out of bed, I will just sit and lay and actually envision for 5 or 10 minutes what my future self is like and what my life is like. Then I do some goal setting. So I'll write down exactly what my goals are for the year and break that down into kind of like a monthly goal. And then I will always get up and make my bed and, like I said, meditate, but that's not all the time. It just kind of depends on how I feel, because every day can be different, and that's okay. So I make my bed. That's super important, guys. You want to keep your space clean. I know a lot of us are living in small apartments or houses, and we don't have a lot of space to really roam around. So it's really important to clean up after yourselves all throughout the day. So making the bed, doing the dishes, making sure that everything is put away after you're using it, that helps a lot with your psychology and your work. Like, it's just going to be so much harder to really focus on everything without feeling stressed out, kind of like low-key and stressed out in the background if you have stuff all around. So yes, be neat. And a huge part of this is making yourself neat and presentable as well. And I've noticed that a lot of people will just kind of hang out in their PJs all day. And I think that's, fun at first when you don't have to go to work. You're like, hell yeah, I can be in comfortable clothes all day long. That kind of is a double-edged sword, because it really has a psychological effect without you maybe even realizing it. So when you get dressed, you are really signaling to your body that you're ready for the day. When you make your bed, you're signaling to your body and your mind that you are ready for your day. You're not going to be sleeping anymore. You're ready for activity. So putting on clothes, if you're used to putting on makeup every day, you can do that. I don't really like to do that. But I just always like to make myself look like I would if I'm going to the store or going to hang out with a friend, because I deserve that for myself. I don't need to be seeing someone to look good. Like, I deserve to look good for me. And that doesn't mean you have to be uncomfortable, although I do prefer to wear clothes that I normally would, and sometimes those aren't as comfy as PJs. I still think it's important for my own self-esteem. So I will get dressed, and then I will take my dog Luna out for a walk and have a huge glass of water and listen to a podcast at that time. And that's because that amps me the fuck up. So if you have something that amps you up, do that. So just anything that will make you feel more positive, honestly. And then after I go for, a 20-30 minute walk, I come back and I make breakfast, and then I actually get down to work. But it's super important that you do some form of exercise or get outside or something in the morning, because I really think that would benefit to set the tone for the rest of the day. And then when you're working, you really want to ensure that you're working in a place that is really solely designated for work. And if you don't have something like this, then try to make something that would be similar to that. Like set your room up in a different way or your kitchen up in a different way so that it indicates to your brain that this is work time. And that is really important because it allows you to create structure where there is none. If you sleep where you work and you eat where you sleep and all of those things kind of blend together, then your brain doesn't know really what it's supposed to be doing at any given time. Another thing that I noticed when I first started working from home, and I even still do this now, so I'm not perfect, I would feast like it was Thanksgiving every single day. And that's because the kitchen was 4 feet away and I could just walk over and grab everything I wanted. And this is a huge no-no, because you're just gonna feel like shit in a month from now when you've gained weight or you know that you've overeaten. You're just not respecting your body, and that's definitely gonna seep into your mindset and your belief about yourself. I'm not saying you have to be perfect and really watch what you eat. What I'm saying is that you want to have a normal and consistent food day like you would if you were out of the house. So you don't want to feast like it's Thanksgiving every single day, right? The best way to avoid this is to actually write down in your notebook everything that you want to eat the night before. And this is just a way to kind of hold yourself accountable and make decisions using your prefrontal cortex, the planning side of your brain, and the one that really cares about your future. So make decisions from that brain and not just your cravings. And recognize also when you're eating. So if you have the impulse or the craving to eat something, I want you to first stop and ask yourself, am I actually hungry? And if you don't feel hunger, then ask yourself, am I eating because I'm stressed? Am I eating because I'm anxious? Am I bored? Am I tired? Did I not sleep enough? Like, why am I trying to eat right now? Is it emotional eating? And if it's one of those things, just grab some water or some gum or some tea, something to satisfy you, but not necessarily go and eat the meal. My second suggestion is to ask yourself if you're hungry, of course. And then if you're not, realize that it's okay to have a craving or an impulse to eat and not act on it. And I think that this is actually very hard if you're not used to feeling this feeling and trying to satisfy or trying to make it go away. What if you could just feel the craving and recognize that that's normal and that's okay? And then within 10 minutes, if you're still working and you're still thinking about it, then maybe you can go back if you really, really want to. But what I'm trying to say is that it's better to build up that muscle of disciplining your brain and just feel that craving and let that subside on its own. And the more that you get invested into the work that you do, the less that you're gonna wanna eat. So honestly, this time is a wonderful opportunity to reflect on how happy you are with the work that you're doing every day. Because if you want to eat all the fucking time, then you're probably not pleased and not fully engaged in what you're doing. And that's a really great time to assess, where do you want to take your life in the next few years from now? Maybe this is not where you want to be. Also, when it comes to eating, if you don't want to eat a lot and overeat, the best thing is to just take one serving with you to wherever you're eating and then just eat that. Don't take the whole bag. That can be a problem. If you're working and you just have a whole bag of chips right there, you can just munch all day long and not even realize that the bag is gone at the end of the day. The next suggestion is to have a shutdown and startup routine to your work. So this would be another way to implement a structure and to indicate to your brain that, hey, this task indicates that I'm shutting down work mode. And then you can shift over into more activity and play. So I don't know what that would look like for you. It can be so different for different people. Maybe it's just I'm gonna check my email the last part of the day, or I'll sign on to social media if you have some kind of business or anything that works for you. Just kind of indicate that you're done and that's it and you're ready to sign off. Then just be mindful of the time that you're signing off. You know, it's very easy when you work from home to work till 7, 8, 9. And if you are building your business, maybe that's something that you want to do. Maybe you want to spend extra hours doing that because you need those hours. But be really mindful of the mindset and the approach that you're going into that with. So if you feel like I need to do this and you feel this kind of urgency or this pressure that you're putting on yourself, then I think you need to take a step back and actually maybe have a break. But if you go into it thinking that I want to do this and then you stop when you get tired, I think that that's a fine approach. It's really not about having this many hours of work and this many hours of play. It's all about how you're feeling and the mindset behind it. So you just have to be healthy in the way that you're approaching your life. And when you start to feel frustrated or angry, or just like you're losing hope, I've had that come up a lot when I'm honestly just tired and I need a break. So instead of trying to power through, just take that time off and go outside. And then I would recommend, as I just said, to go outside again. I walk my dog again for the second time in the evening, but you don't need to have a dog to go outside. You can just do some light stretching, a jog. It's just so important to get out of the house. And since we don't really have anywhere else to go, outside is the best place to go. And also nature is so beautiful and so relaxing that it will be super beneficial. And another benefit would be to exercise while you're outside. If you sweat a little bit, it's going to release a lot of endorphins that just make you feel so much better. The last few things are to just try to make sure that you get some alone time. And this might be hard for those of you who have kids and everyone is in the house at once. But if you can just ask your family to give you at least 30 minutes in the room by yourself where you can meditate, journal, or just do anything that feeds your own soul, you will have so much more to give to them the rest of the day. So really ask your family members if that's possible for you. And as I recommended, you should do something to feed your soul. So I love to read, I love to write, and I love to play and create things like art. And so instead of just turning to Netflix, can you find an activity or a hobby in the evening that really fills up your cup? And I know that when you're tired at the end of the day, that might not be something that you want to do. But trust me, when it's tomorrow and the next day, you'll notice that your self-esteem and your soul will honestly be so much better and happier because you keep filling it up with things that it really actually wants. And then the very last thing is just go to bed early and sign off of technology at least 2 hours before so that your brain knows that it's okay to shut down, that it's time to shut down. So whatever time that is for you, I like to go to bed before 11 if I can. And not every day is perfect, not every day is the same, but these are the things that I live by and I abide by most of the time because they really keep me sane. So I hope that this was helpful for you guys. If so, please share this video with someone else that is going through this work from home event that we're all going through during this crisis. So I appreciate it so much, guys. I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.